October 1984, Roseville, Virginia. A gray Mazda 626 turned into an avenue lined with houses, ensconced with loblolly pine, yellow poplar, and red maple trees. The trees were as majestic in stature as they were in the bright deep gold, yellow, and deep red of their leafy coiffures, suffusing the avenue with a burst of brilliant colors. With the morning sun, soft and golden and round, rising seemingly from the bed of the street in the distance, the Mazda might as well have been driving through a painting. The brittle leaves dropped from the branches overhead as a cool breeze nosed around, floating delicately in the air like snowflakes, before landing gracefully among other leaves overlaying the street. Slowly, gradually, some of them alighted on the Mazda's windshield, like little dainty kisses until it began to form a layer. Quickly, without hesitation, the driver activated the wiper, taking them off. The woman in the passenger seat beside him had her eyes trained on the neighborhood. It was beautiful, more beautiful than anything she had been used to for the past few weeks. Everything, from the elegantly simple clapboard houses with the gable roofs, front porches, symmetrical windows, and the spectral leaf-carpeted front yard, the grand old trees standing guard around, to the serenity, was catchy. She rolled down the window and closed her eyes, dreamy, savoring the cool air and the underlying brisk, earthy smell of molding leaves. "Would you shut the window?" the driver implored as he scanned the street, searching for something. If the woman heard him, she did not show it. It was as if she was frozen in time, face out the window, chin jutted slightly forward, shut eyes, and a dreamy expression on her face. Her auburn hair was tied back into a loose ponytail held together by a plain yellow rubber band. However, a few errant strands of her hair at the front danced in the breeze, whipping inconsequentially against her face. The woman was beautiful, even without makeup on. She had healthy alabaster skin, a trait most people were keen to attribute to her age, since she was still in her late 20s. Brown eyes, a long, narrow nose, the aristocratic cheekbones of a runway model, pale, thin lips, and an oval face that tapered to a pointy chin. Everything about her exuded exuberance, like there was an untapped well of joy resting deep in her chest. The driver, on the other hand, did not radiate as much excitement, but he looked gentle, meek like a lamb, and drove like a surgeon wielding a surgical blade in a very complex procedure. His strong, long fingers were not even firmly wrapped around the steering wheel. He had a triangle face, chin-length, chestnut-brown hair with choppy brown stubble, deep brown eyes, paper-thin lips, and a hawk-like nose crooked to the left, a memorabilia of an accident in the past. He was just as manly as most men came, not too macho, definitely not effeminate, and would raise the eyebrows of people who noticed the identical simple gold bands on his finger and the woman's. As far as matches went, theirs was an improper fraction. "Irina," he called softly, dragging her name out for emphasis. Flipping her eyes open, she let out a tolerant sigh, then leaned back into the car and rolled up the window. Stealing a glance at her, the man noticed the faint shimmer of unhappiness on her face, and he smiled, amused. "Do you always have to be a baby?" he commented. "You'll have all the time in the world to take in as much of nature as you can. We live here now, but I don't think it's time for our neighbors to see us yet."